A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello and hi everyone all around the world. Very good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Muhammad Johar Islam, postgraduate research student at the Advanced Lightning, Power and Energy Research ALPER UPM, and I will be moderating this session. I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all presented here and registered to our today's webinar entitled Agrivoltaic Technology Adaptation for Malaysia UPM Initiatives. This program is organized by Advanced Lightning, Power and Energy Research ALPER UPM in collaboration with IEEE University Putra Malaysia Student Branch, IEEE Power and Energy Society Malaysia Chapter, AgroPV Integrated Sdn Bhd, Malaysian Society of Agricultural Engineers, and PERAWAN, marking the IEEE PES Day celebration 2021. This webinar is being telecast by IEEE PES Malaysia Facebook page and YouTube channel. For your kind information, our registered participants more than 454 from 26 countries. They are from Afghanistan, Algeria, Australia, Bangladesh, China, Egypt, Eritrea, India, Indonesia, Iraq, Jordan, Kenya, Kuwait, Libya, Mauritius, Nigeria, Niger, Pakistan, Philippines, Somalia, Sri Lanka, Sudan, and last but not least from Malaysia. Once again, welcome everyone to our IEEE PES Day webinar. The Power and Energy Society aims to focus on helping the environment and the society. This year, 278 IEEE PES Day events are celebrating by 19,000 participants, 582 lectures, 278 PES Day events in 50 countries, and 82 IEEE sections. At the very beginning of our today's webinar, I would like to invite Dr. Harun Rashid to let us know about the IEEE and PES insights. Before that, let me introduce him. Dr. Harun Rashid is an engineer, researcher, lecturer, and trainer. Currently, he is attached with Photonics Research Center, Higher Institute Center of Excellence of University Kembangan, Malaysia. He completed his postgraduate studies with PhD in Electrical, Electronic and Systems Engineering from University Kembangan, Malaysia. An MSc in Microelectronics Engineering from University Kembangan, Malaysia. B. Engineering Honors in Electrical and Electronic Engineering from University of Sunderland, United Kingdom. And BSc in Mathematics from the University of Punjab, Pakistan. He is the chair of IEEE Young Professionals Malaysia. So let's welcome Dr. Harun to give us the overview on IEEE and PES Malaysia. Over to you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Zohrul. Am I audible?
Yes,
okay.
Doctor.
All right.
Audible.
Okay, let me just share my screen. Give me a moment, please. Zohrul, can you see my screen now? Zohrul, my screen is visible to you?
Yes, Doctor. I can see your slide.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, first of all, for inviting me for this webinar and to give an overview about IEEE Power Energy Society. I'm Harun Rashid. Thanks for my introduction. Very long introduction, in fact. In short, that I'm from IEEE Power Energy Society. I'm currently the Students and Young Professionals Activities Chair. So today I'll just wanted to take the advantage of a lot of audience in this session, and I want to give some overview about IEEE Power Energy Society, especially to those who are not aware of what is IEEE and what is IEEE Power and Energy Society, or in short, PES or PES. So what basically we are and what we do, it's an international organization, professional association, which is the world's largest, with its members around 450,000 around the globe, which are based in more than 160 countries. and we have student members of about 123,000 around the globe. Every year, IEEE organizes a lot of conferences, around 2,000 annually, and IEEE has they publish technical papers. Most of you who are from engineering background, you must be aware of it. And then socially, IEEE get engaged in public policy engagement and also humanitarian projects or some education and certification activities. So how is the things in IEEE? IEEE has total 38 societies, technical societies. Power and Energy Society is one of the technical society. So altogether, they are connected with IEEE under the umbrella of IEEE. And it is one of the second largest society in IEEE. Okay, in terms of membership, how IEEE and Power and Energy Society can help you, it can help you grow and maintain your technical expertise. Also, it can get you connected with other professionals through networking opportunities. Like this is one of the event you are getting connected with professionals. Also, you can contribute to the field of power and energy or the other related fields if you are coming from another field. And you can also get a lot of discounts on different valuable programs and materials that you can buy online through IEEE PES, IEEE and PES. Okay, in terms of getting connected technically with PES, what type of things we organize? We do online webinars like the one you are attending today. Later on, Dr. Effandy will be talking all about. And then there are some tutorials, online workshops, and due to COVID now we are not having any physical activities, but in the past, yes, we used to have technical workshops, physical one on site. And then also IEEE has periodicals, technical journals where you can publish your research. And also IEEE organize the plain talk. So this plain talk, more information you can just type IEEE plain talk, IEEE PES, PES plain talk. You can get more information about this. It's one of the very interesting program offered by IEEE PES. And also PES can help you in gaining your continuous professional development CPDs, your continuous professional development hours, or in US region is called PDH, professional development hours. So whatever sessions you are attending, you can claim for the technical points as well. All right, so next is IEEE or PES also provide you called IEEE PES Resource Center. So in this resource center, basically they provide you the technical contents. There are tutorial, video tutorials. Just give me a moment, yes, please. Zorul, can you see my screen now? Or I think my screen is not visible, right? Give me a moment. Let me share again. Oh, I lost the screen. In fact, okay. Okay, I believe now you are able to see my screen. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, so IEEE PES Resource Center, where you can get a lot of information at one place. More or less, there are tutorials, there are videos of the recorded webinars or the conferences which has held in the past. You can find out the slides of those conferences, and there are archives of different webinars. Also, you can find out journal articles, there are technical reports and all that. All these things you can get it under this IEEE PES Resource Center. So it's a full with resources. That's why we are calling it PES Resource Center as well. Okay, how is the engagement of IEEE through its local chapters? Basically, IEEE divide their operations into 10 different regions to cover up in the whole world, and Malaysia comes somewhere here, which is under the region 10. So in region 10, IEEE PES has 45 chapters, and there are about 10,000 members. So region 10 is the one of the largest region among the IEEE other regions. So if you compare with region 1 to 7, it is almost half of those 7 regions. And there are in total, there are about 260 chapters and 421 student chapters. So you can understand from this point that how well equipped the IEEE and IEEE PES is in terms of resources. So here you can see the PES Malaysia leadership. We started in 1994, and all the chairs of PES Malaysia, according to their year of services in the IEEE PES Malaysia, you can see at the screen. And right now we have the current chair is the same chair of 2020 is Prof. Fazli. So he's right now the chair of PES Malaysia as well. He's from University Malaya. Okay, what we do, like it's like things particularly in Malaysia, what we do is we organize invited lectures. Like today's one you are going to hear later on. We organize annual conferences, biannual conferences, and also we do technical sponsor conferences as well. Also, we have a couple of awards: Outstanding Engineer Award, Outstanding Volunteer Award, then industry awards. Also, we provide like industry linkage, like we connect through with industry, so that we become a bridge between you and the industry. Also, we have a lot of technical activities every year. Last year we had about 30 plus technical activities we organized. We also sponsor final year project awards in different universities. We become part of their final year project competitions, and then we sponsor the tracks for Power and Energy Society. Also, we run the senior member drives, like those of you who are already experienced in your field and you are a member, so you would like to become a senior member. We organize these drives where we guide you, we train you how you can submit your application, and then you can get elevated to senior member level. And how is our system? You as a PES member, you are also IEEE member. Once you pay the membership fee, you become IEEE member, and then you start receiving IEEE benefits. But then for IEEE PES member, you have to pay additionally a little bit. Then you can join Power and Energy Society, and you can get all the benefits that I have explained about PES or Power and Energy Society in your same package. Okay, we have a special package for students. If you are a student, undergraduate or postgraduate student, you can join IEEE Power and Energy Society. First year will be no charge. You don't have to pay anything. And if you are existing IEEE member, but you have never joined IEEE PES, then you can also contact us. We will guide you how you can get your free membership for 1 year. So after 1 year, of course, you have to pay. So this is the first year thing we are paying to the undergrad and postgraduate students. So if you would like to know more information about this, our website and email address is given there, and you can always go to our Facebook page. If you have any queries, you can just write it over there. And please do visit our Facebook page and do subscribe our YouTube channel as well to stay up to date with our upcoming events and activities that we are organizing, especially the webinars, which are totally free. We don't charge anything for that. And some of the webinars you can also get the certificate of participation. So with that, I would say thank you very much, and I will hand over the microphone to Zohrul, and then we will continue with the webinar of today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor, for all the insights of IEEE. As the world's largest technical professional organization, IEEE offers a number of ways to get involved with technical and local communities. These communities are active participants in research and authorship conferences and important conversations about today's most relevant technical topics locally and globally. For those who just joined now, we have over 455 registration from 26 countries, and the attendance form will be given shortly in the comment sections. So if you have anything to ask to our honorable speaker, please write in the comment below, and please share our webinar link to your social media platform. The integrations of agriculture and renewable energy resources is currently a hot topic discussed worldwide based on the need for green energy and sustainable economy. Agrivoltaic concept is a system that combines partially agriculture and photovoltaic electricity generations in the same space. The concept is in line with the Kyoto Protocol and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which highlights the clean energy and sustainable urban living. The integrations of agrivoltaic systems would optimize the yield, improving clean system efficiently, and solving the issue of land resource scarcity. So based on the field assessment, it is found that PV bottom surface temperature are main source which dissipates heat underneath PV arrays. The common ground for this work lies on the fact that 1 degree Celsius increase of PV cell temperature results in reductions of 0.5% energy conversion efficiency. Thus, any means of natural cooling mechanism would gain much benefit, especially to the solar farm operators. So this seminar focuses on the two elements: firstly, sharing some of the published article, and secondly, product innovations contributing to agrivoltaic initiatives. The concept of agro-technology integrations is presented with field justifications for the unused space under PV arrays configured for large-scale PV farms. So I would like to invite our the key resource persons, and before that I would like to introduce you with you. So Muhammad Effandy Yaqub graduated his engineering degree in multiple disciplinary bachelor degree in electrical and electronic in 2003 and continued MSc in engineering management by the year 2005, both in University Putra, Malaysia. He successfully defended his PhD doctorate in March 2014 in the field of power engineering. Effandy, who's electrical engineer by profession, have worked nearly 6 years in building maintenance, project engineering, design and constructions, and SHE, safety, health and environment. Concurrently, he was certified as professional electrical engineer by the Board of Engineers Malaysia in 2010 and become active member of the Institute of Engineers Malaysia. He was appointed as senior lecturer at the Department of Process and Food Engineering, University Putra, Malaysia since March 2015 and joined the Center for Advanced Lightning, Power and Energy Research as affiliate member. He is currently the honorary treasurer for the Malaysian Society for Agricultural and Food Engineering. His research interests are in green and renewable energy, agrivoltaic system, water purification, solar PV system, and environmental impact assessment. So today we'll be knowing everything, the insight of the agrivoltaic, that how it combines the agriculture and energy productions. So to know all those things, I would like to invite our today's speaker, Dr. Effandy. Over to you, Doctor. Prof, you are not audible. Please unmute first.
Dr.
Can you hear me? Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Doctor. Now we can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Zarul, for the kind introduction, and also Dr. Harun for this brief on IEEE PES. I'm Muhammad Effandy Yaqub from University Putra, Malaysia. We'll be delivering some insight, some overview, and some experience-based project on agrivoltaic technology, specifically for UPM. UPM is University Putra, Malaysia. So before continuing the slides, because this is Ramadan, and our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam already said, Ramadan awalu rahmah wa awsatuhu maghfirah wa akhiruhu itqum minan nar. So the first 10 would be given by Allah SWT, merciful to us, prosperity. The second 10 would be maghfirah, which is a forgiveness, and the third 10 days would be itqum minan nar, which is escape from hellfire, inshallah. Ila hadratin Nabi Mustafa Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallam, kiramul Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق والناصر الحق بالحق والحادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله وصحبه حق قدره ومقداره العظيم اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولوالدينا وارحمهما كما ربيانا صغيرا اللهم افتح علينا فتوح العارفين بحكمتك وحفظ المرسلين وإلحام الملائكة المقربين يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم جملنا بالعافية والسلامة وحققنا بالتقوى والاستقامة وأعزنا من مجيبة الندامة في الحال والمال إنك سميع الدعاء اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا وعن والدينا وعن جميع المسلمين والمسلمات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وشفاء من كل داء اللهم ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين اللهم ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما ربنا يا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم إنا نعوذ بك الله بسم الله كافي بسم الله شافي بسم الله معافي بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من البرد والجنون والجذام ومن سيء الأسقام اللهم آمين اللهم آمين اللهم آمين اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين الله منا ومنكم Inshallah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so coming back to our agenda now. Thank you, everyone, for
Dr. Effandy, your microphone is again on mute. We can't hear you.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Harun. I would like to convey my gratitude to some of the co-organizer for ALPER and also for IEEE, for Malaysian Society of Agricultural Engineers, and also one of the UPM startup company, AgroPV Integrated Sdn Bhd, and also PERAWAN, Persatuan Warga Melaka di Perantauan Malaysia. Thank you all. So I will share my slide. Can you see my slide now? Is it okay?
Yes, we can see your slide.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Right. So the topic today is agrivoltaic technology adaptation for Malaysia, UPM initiative. So I'm from UPM. This is the poster just now. So it is basically a santai-santai, chill and relax session. So we have already covered by Zohrul just now, the profile, and then I will cover also some of the research outcome based, because for researchers and for lecturers in the university, we have to come up with the papers. But this one is the selected papers on agrivoltaic, and then some introduction brief on the agrivoltaic technology in a nutshell. And then I will cover some part of the Masita grant, R&D grant, and then some part of the Leadership in Innovation Fellowship, the LEAF program, which I joined in last February 2020. So this is a one-year program under this academy. And then I will share some of the promotion newspaper cutting on agrivoltaic. So that's why the title is on the initiative from UPM. So what we have done so far to promote this agrivoltaic technology. And then I will also cover the R&D part, which is the product development and showcase. We have 3, 6, 7. It is a lot, so that is why bear with me. I will make it short and simple, and then interesting enough for all of us to comprehend. All right. So this is some of the infographic of myself. So I've been my first employment is as electrical engineer, and then this is the timeline, my life timeline until now. So I've been as academician for the past 5 years. So this sharing session is all about the 5 years I've been going through as a researcher in UPM. And also we have also joined in Agrivoltaic 2020 conference held virtually in France. So I was one of the invited speaker for this Agrivoltaic conference held last year. So this is also a recognition for Malaysia. So this is some of the papers being papers published on electrical first, because during my journey before venturing into agrivoltaic, my PhD in electrical power engineering on solar PV system. So this is the paper published in Energy Conversion and Management in 2013 on calculating electrical and thermal characteristics of multiple PV array configuration in the tropics. So based on this paper, we have seen some of the impact on temperature to the performance of the PV in the tropics. So we have 3 systems: the normal fixed flat ground mounted, and then it is we have a tracking system, and then we have the CPV, concentrated PV with glass mirror to concentrate the light on the top of the top surface of solar PV modules. So based on this, we have seen some of the graph here on the right side. We can see that the bottom side of a ground mounted solar PV has very much impact in terms of the performance of the PV. Okay, so one part is studying on the temperature effect on the PV performance. So that is during my PhD. So after achieving the scroll, so I venture into the agrivoltaic part. So that's so the continuation of the study on photovoltaic performance. I jump into integrating the photovoltaic part and agriculture. So we managed to publish one paper, embracing new agriculture commodity through integration of Javati, or it is a misai kucing plant, as high value herbal crops in solar PV farms in Journal of Cleaner Production. So both of this paper is a Q1 paper. So based on this paper, we highlight some of the important facts that if we can reduce the temperature underneath the solar PV on the bottom side, it can increase a significant numbers of PV efficiency. So this is very because I will show you later on in terms of the figure. So from photovoltaic per se, I venture into agriculture on agrivoltaic. So based on this paper, the cash function for 1 acre of AgroPV. So during my time, during this time, 2000, the paper is published in 2014. During that time, there is none a large-scale solar which is integrated with crops or plants. So we estimated that the net present value would reach 8,000 plus, okay, monthly. So it is actually a good figure for these solar farm operators to join in the idea. So it provides some convincing profit margin when we integrate the green technology with crops production. And then we managed to do some study on the thermal analysis. So this paper has been published in Energy Report in 2020, just last year published thermal analysis of portable DSSC mini greenhouse. So based on this paper, we see that it is a good approach when we installed the solar PV modules as a rooftop structure. But for this particular case, we focus on DSSC, which is a dye-sensitized solar cell. So we have got some of the questions by in WhatsApp group in terms of the red colored facade using the solar modules. So for this particular talk, I will not touch on the type of solar PV because I think it has been shared by the previous speaker from IEEE PES Day, from UTN, from Unitan, from UKM, and whatnot. So for this particular talk, I will not focus on different types or different category of solar PV because it is a lot. So I will focus more on the agrivoltaic applications, because if we refer to the first, second, third, the fourth generation of solar PV, so the application will differ. And if we are referring to the red facade or the red glass, it is more on the DSSC type. So I will not touch more on that. But still, we have a few papers on the DSSC. Another one is on the DSSC greenhouse shading, new insight for solar radiation manipulation. So this one is a focus on a specified greenhouse with the solar rooftop using DSSC material, and then we study the performance of both sides. One is on the energy performance and another one on the plant growth performance. All right. And then we managed to publish an article on modeling of stochastic temperature and heat stress directly underneath agrivoltaic condition with Autocypon staminus crop cultivation. This one is also the misai kucing crops. So based on this paper, we deliver some concern on the effect of dissipated heat. Okay, so based on the figure on the left side, you can see that we are using the thermal imager. We can see that some of the heat coming up from the panel, from the bottom side of the panel. We have recorded the measurement for the temperature based on the previous study, and for this particular paper, we are using the thermal imager to see visually how does the heat being transmitted on underneath the solar PV, and then what are the impact on the crops growth. So the impact is focusing on the heat stress. So based on this paper, we model the heat stress underneath solar PV, and then from this, it might be a good information for growers to see whether different types of plants or crops can sustain underneath solar PV panels. So this is one of the good papers which can deliver, which can share some of the applied version on agrivoltaic technology. Okay, for the briefing or the introduction of agrivoltaic, the concept of agrivoltaic or solar farming, or some of the in UK they call it solar grazing, solar farming, and also agrivoltaic, AgroPV. So there are quite a number of terminology, but most likely it refers to the same content, so this solar farming or agrivoltaic expired the creative conversion of agriculture to photovoltaics applied on the same land to maximize the yield. So basically, the terminology of agrivoltaic is using the same space for two systems or two production. One is generating electricity, and another one is generating crops yield. So basically, two in one. The integration of these two resources would optimize the yield, improving clean system efficiency and solving issues of land scarcity. So we actually address some of the sustainable development goals on land scarcity. The dramatic changes and increasing public interest in solar PV landscape showed the dual benefit use of land, which can give some significant impact on energy and also future agriculture. So basically, my stand here, I am in the energy side, and I'm also in the agriculture side. So I'm trying to give to share some of the benefit on both sides, on energy side and also on agriculture side. For the energy side, when we implement agrivoltaic system, it will help in terms of using up the space, unused space, and then it will give some significant value for decreasing the temperature underneath solar PV, and by doing so, it will increase the efficiency. And on the agriculture side, because of the land scarcity on large scale farming, so we might use this option of using the available large scale solar PV farms for agriculture use. So a common ground for this work lies on the fact that 1 degree Celsius increase of a photovoltaic cell, this one is referring to the bottom cell, it will reduce a significant number of 0.5% of energy conversion efficiency. So this is actually what we are the terminology or the rules which we have used so far, because any effort to reduce the bottom temperature of the cell might give some room for increasing the energy efficiency. So that is important for, especially for the solar farm operators, because performance of solar PV is decreasing yearly, the performance, because it is a live system. So if any effort to gain the efficiency, so it will be much appreciated by all. Transpiration process plays an important role in the cooling of green plants, where in average it could dissipate around 32.9% of the total solar energy absorbed by the leaf, making it a good natural cooling mechanism. So based on the terminology of natural cooling mechanism, we apply this agrivoltaic in the solar PV farm as the mechanism to cool down the solar PV. Increase in plant transpiration result in higher percentage of RH, which is the relative humidity value, which could absorb surface heat from solar panels, and then it is being integrated with the flowing wind, because one part of the plant is actually it can block the flowing wind underneath the solar PV, and from doing so it can absorb. It has some time frame to absorb the heat from the surface of the solar. This is some of the world view of agrivoltaic in Italy, in China, in the US, in France, and also in Japan. So we can see most of the agrivoltaic technology in the world, they are elevated system. I mean to say that they have the plants, the crops area underneath, and then the structure of the solar PV is very high. Okay, so this is some of the different application of agrivoltaic in the world. I will share some of the information of UK from their reports later on, and also from Australia. Sorry, from Australia. So this is some of the snapshot taken from one of the agrivoltaic site in Montpellier. So I've been here, Montpellier, France, last year, 2020. So this is the same system. They are growing grapes underneath the solar modules, and then the arrangement of the solar is very wide. There is a gap between one area to another area. So I mean to say that they are given some rooms for the direct sun to the crops. Okay, I will share some of the Australian initiative on agrivoltaic. Okay, hopefully you can see this one. This one is a report by the Clean Energy Council from Australia, a guide to agri-solar for large-scale solar. So this one is the term used in Australia, agri-solar, which has similar concept to agrivoltaic. Okay, this one is a very good report showing that agrivoltaic is being implemented at a large scale in Australia. Okay, I will give you some of the pictures because if you want to read this one, is quite a lot. This report is referring to a large scale because here they say that the large scale refers to above a 5 megawatt peak and above system. So 5 megawatt is quite huge land. Huh? All right. Okay. So from this report, it shares some of the views. That's why you can see here there are the ground mounted PV. Okay, which is most likely 1 meter from the ground, and also there are the elevated PV panels just now in the world view. So most of the agrivoltaic project in the world, they're using this kind of elevated PV panels. More to say, this kind of system, they really concern on the agriculture. So they applied the agriculture project first, and then the second part is on the solar for the electricity production. As compared to the ground mounted, most of the project, it is PV first, solar photovoltaic project first, then applied with others. Either it is agriculture or crops or live breedings. Okay, so we have basically two types. This one is the agri-solar part. Okay, so for the elevated, here it says that the structure or the elevated structure is around 2.5 meters up to 5 meters height, because they want to make sure that there is a space for the tractors to cross through the solar panels. Okay, this is the concept of the agri-solar or agrivoltaic based on this report. And also there is also a greenhouse. So this one is the greenhouse or the rooftop covered. So the concept is applying solar PV modules on top of the roof as the structure, and then some of the typical greenhouse, it is fully covered by solar, and then there is also partially covered by solar, and then there are a few methodology of there are few arrangement of solar roofing for the greenhouse, and also there is also a floating PV system here. Okay, floating PV system. So this one shows that for the agrivoltaic or agri-solar concept, it can be applied in variety of agricultural activities. Okay, this figure shows some of the application of bee. This one is the bee, the bee box. So this one is applied in Australia also. In Malaysia, I think I haven't seen any of the bee integration with solar PV system. But based on this, because Australia, although it is a 4-season country in certain part, but most likely it has a similar weather condition with Malaysia, the tropics, so some of the continent in Australia. So I believe that for beekeeping or bee farming is also can be applied in solar farms, right? So this one is in Canberra. There are 10 hives for the bees. So in Malaysia, I think Kelulut is one of the bee which is being produced in a commercial scale. Kelulut. Okay. All right. This one is the ground-mounted one, where underneath the solar panel they are planting some of the crops. Okay, in Malaysia, we are trying herbal-based plants, herbal-based crops. But based on this report, there are a few crops which can sustain underneath the solar PV. For example, in USA, they are planting tomatoes and jalapenos, and also in California, they are planting kale, chard, and also broccoli. Okay, so this one is quite an interesting fact done by the US to plant certain crops, high-value crops underneath the solar PV. But still, we have to consider some of the constraint in agrivoltaic. For example, the length of the ground surface up to the panel structures. So it is very important. The second one, in terms of the shading by the solar, and then in terms of the dissipated heat from the solar, and also effect of the wiring, because when we are planting some crops underneath, so it somehow can affect in terms of the wiring of the solar system. Okay, so that is some of the concern by the solar operators. But still, it has been proven that some of the developed countries has already applied this kind of concept, and it produces it gives some good results, right? Good results. Okay, this one is in Australia, the grazing. So they are living. They are what you call as the Gaten solar farm here. They are breeding the lambs underneath solar PV. I think we have some of the pictures on the sheep and lambs. Okay, here. So the concept is actually the same. If we can use the unused land underneath the solar PV, and then we can use for grazing, sheep breeding, or we can also use as the agriculture crops plantation. So I can share some of the benefits of applying the agri-solar for this lamb grazing or this sheep grazing. One is keep the pasture down, means to say that the solar farm operators doesn't have to appoint the contractors to cut the grass. Contributes to a stronger vegetation management regime. Reduce operation and maintenance costs through the avoidance of regular mowing. Okay, so that in terms of the maintenance is very less, and then provides additional monitoring when farmer on site, because based on the normal practice for solar farm, they will be on site during the installation, and then no one will be there except for the guard, and then it will be abandoned. The important part for the solar farm operator is that energy is being generated to the grid. That's all. They only concern more on the system is performing well. That's it, done. But when we applied agrivoltaic to the same site, so the solar farm operator has someone or the farmers who can take care or who can monitor the site for them. So it is actually a mutual benefit. Reduces health and safety risks for the solar farm personnel due to reduced need for operation of mowers and machinery, and then strengthen relationship, communication, and interaction. So based on this, the proponent or the solar farm owners, solar farm operators, these are the benefit. And then for the farmers, access to the free land, So sometimes one of the critical factors is the usable land, the land, especially in the urban areas. So limited land is scarcity of the land is one of the biggest issue now for agriculture. Increased health and well-being for sheep due to protection from the elements. So based on this figure, if the sheep is being what called as the sheep is inside the solar farm, so there are fencing which can help the sheep breeders from the fox, basically from the fox or the wild dogs. So this is very important, because in Australia the numbers of that sheep based on the fox factor or the wild dog is very high. So when they are inside the solar farm compound, so they are safe from this kind of animals, right? Safety from predators, the predators. Access to greener pasture, high wool quality. So this one is one of the proven result, because they compare the sheep underneath solar and also on the normal area. So the wool is high quality, because maybe the sheep is shaded, and then in terms of the livelihood of the sheep is more. Supporting the transition in clean energy and also healthier environment. Okay, so this is some of the benefits for sheep grazing in agrivoltaic farms. Okay, so Australia is a very huge land, and based on the solar farm scale is quite big, is enormous. For example, in Kolambali, the size is 189 megawatts. I think this one is the large. No, the Finley area is 275 megawatt. This one is very huge, 275 megawatt. I think in Malaysia, the largest as of now is only around 65 megawatt, the largest. So I think 275 is multiple that size. Okay. All right. So this is the picture of sheep grazing, livestock grazing in the solar PV farms. All right. So this is some of the thing which shows that agrivoltaic is a very good, is a new, what they call as a new technology, new emerging energy trends. We have the solar PV system, we have the agriculture activities, and by integrating these two elements, it can be shown that it is an emerging energy trends. All right. So coming back to the slide. Okay, right. So I've given some of the world view on Australia, on US, on France. So being to say that agrivoltaic is not something new in the world. It is being applied in every corner of the world. Okay. So this is the Malaysia perspective. Okay. I've been to most of the solar farm, large scale solar farm in Peninsula, not in Sabah, or in Peninsula. So this is the Gurun, large scale solar. The capacity is 50 megawatt, megawatt peak. And we have this TNB solar farm in Selambau, also in Kedah. The size is 30 megawatt AC. And then we have also, this one is, I think, this one is the Selambau. This one is the Selambau. Because it is a hilly site, so that's why the structure is quite narrow as compared to other solar farm. It is more on the flat side, flat land. So we have in Sungai Siput 49 megawatt peak system, and then we have in Sepang near to UPM. TNB large scale solar, the capacity is, I think this one is 65 megawatt EC. And then we have large scale solar in Gurun and also in Sabah, Tadau Energy, 48 megawatt peak solar farms, solar power plant, right? So why do we need agrivoltaic integration? Why? The question is, based on the normal practice of the solar farm operators in Malaysia. So I'm coming back to the Malaysia perspective. As compared to other countries, for example, in Australia, they consider agriculture as one of the critical part, and then they integrate. But for Malaysia, most of the solar PV farm, they are ground mounted, and then in terms of the usable land underneath is still unused. Okay, this one is actually money. Unused space is equals to money plus environmental impact. Okay, this is the two part which is being delivered to the solar farm operators, that they might give some they might create some of the good potential in terms of the monetary value, in terms of the environmental impacts. Okay, so the normal rule of thumb, 1 megawatt peak system is approximately 5 acres of flat land. 1 megawatt peak is approximately 5 acres of flat land. That is normal, and then this one is also reported by the Australian report just now. 1 megawatt peak is around approximately 5 acres of flat land. Okay, so from this, if you are talking about 100 megawatt peak, we will cover around 500 acres of unused space underneath this solar panel. It's quite a huge space. You see, for example, just now in Australia, 275 megawatt peak system is very huge. All right, so this is the statistic from the SEDA, Sustainable Energy Development Authority, Malaysia, in 2018. It is not yet being, I haven't got the latest one, but based on this figure, it shows that we are targeting at 440 megawatt peak system. And then based on the LSS, large scale solar tree project, the ministry the previous ministry, are targeting 4,000 megawatt peak in 2030 for aiming the 20% energy mix. So you can see that although it is a mix of project, some of the project is a building integrated, some of the project is a ground mounted project. So, but most of the large scale solar is ground mounted system. So we can see that if Malaysia achieve 4,000 megawatt peak system, clearly that the area is very 20,000 acres of unused land underneath solar PV. Is very huge area. So you can see here, based on this table, based on this statistic, solar PV is most likely the prominent, most likely is the favorite or the most what we call as high demanding energy source as compared to biogas, biomass, geothermal and whatnot. So solar PV in Malaysia is really a hot topic. So if we can integrate agriculture in line with this hot topic of solar photovoltaic, then I think we are in the right track. We preserve the agriculture, we preserve the land. At the same time, we give some room for the energy on solar PV system. So this is the grant being awarded to UPM by ministry. So we have applied this grant since KETA, I think in 2018, and then the government changed. We applied for the new ministry, MSAE, already approved, and then this ministry also changed to KETSA. So now this grant is under KETSA. Under KETSA, Malaysia Energy Supply Industry Trust account. So for this project, the title is Development of Clustered Misai Kuching Plots in Solar PV Farms for Natural Cooling Mechanism. So based on my PhD study and also Agrivoltaic concept, we have done the pilot scale at 10 kilowatt peak, but based on this small scale, the industry comments that they want to see a larger scale, a real large scale solar size. So that's why the ministry gives some fund for UPM to apply to upscale from a pilot scale 10 kilowatt peak to a 2 megawatt peak system in Puchong. So this picture is cultivated Misai Kuching underneath solar PV system in Puchong. So it is a ground mounted system. The size is around 5 acres of land. So we are aiming to cultivate the whole land area only underneath the solar PV by using Misai Kuching plant. Why Misai Kuching? We have published few papers on that. But based on the generic view, Misai Kuching is one of the listed herbal medicine in Malaysia. Under last time it is under the entry point projects. So we have 6 selected herbs. So one of them is Misai Kuching. So that's why one is in terms of the commercial value of Misai Kuching. Another one is in terms of the sustainability of this plant. It is not that high, so it will not disturb any wirings. And then the cycle is around 4 to 5 cycle per year. So in terms of the return, in terms of the monetary value, is quite fast as compared to other herbs. And then it is easily it is based on the in terms of the seedling is quite easy in terms of the seedling. All right. So for this particular project, it is ongoing until we because of the COVID. It actually should the project should end by next month in June. This one is April. So next 2 months in June. But because of COVID, we have some difficulty to purchase some of the materials last year, 2020. So because of that, we have applied for some extension. But still, if everyone is interested to see, we have some of the setup 2 string already planted for the cooling mechanism. All right, this one is in Puchong, Selangor, near to UPM Serdang. Okay, some of the initiative to promote agrivoltaic. Okay, this is me. I'm here. Okay, we managed to secure fund from the UK government under the Leadership in Innovation Fellowship, February 2020. So from this this program is actually tailored for entrepreneurship, but still, I'm highlighting this this photoponic vegetation. Okay, this one is actually a floating agrivoltaic concept. Okay, under a certain platforms. Okay, a photoponic vegetation. I will detail out on the photoponic vegetation later on. Okay, later on. So basically, for this slide, it shows some of the effort by UPM to promote one of the product, agrivoltaic based product in UK under this program, Leadership in Innovation Fellowship Program. So it is just ended last March, because it is a 1-year program. So it is a very meaningful and interactive program for LEAF 6. Okay, and then some of the newspaper cutting and online advertisement. We managed to publish some of the materials, the articles in the in Utusan Malaysia, Utusan Online, Harian Metro, My Metro, Harakah Daily, and some of the international pages, Energy Watch and whatnot. So this is some of the effort. In Harakah, we have published, I think, three articles on agrivoltaic introduction, and then on the rainwater harvesting, and also in terms of the land use using the solar dryer. So our effort is basically to promote agrivoltaic in different views, in different segments. For example, if we are talking about agriculture, we have the aqua, we have the crops, we have the breeding, we have, so it is very wide in terms of agriculture. So from that particular segment, we can apply this agrivoltaic concept and then blend in, integrate this two part. One is on energy side, and another one is on energy on agriculture side. So this is the just now the photoponic vegetation appeared in Mega Utusan. So this is the prototype being submitted for the UK LEAF grant. Okay, if we can Google by keyword in terms of agrivoltaic for Malaysia, agrivoltaic Malaysia, or AgroPV Malaysia, so the first 5 pages will appear some of the initiative by UPM. Some of them papers, some of them articles on the newspaper, some of them are the product development, and some of them are comments from the reviewers. Okay. So this is basically showing some of the initiative, because the title is initiative, a promotion on agrivoltaic. So these are, I think, if we can capture a good keywords, and then when someone else in the world type in this keyword, and then it appears, for example, UPM initiative, and then some of the highlights on papers and a product. So I think it is a very good platform to promote this technology. Okay. It is 1 hour. Okay, so we are at the second part. I forgot to brief the outline. So basically, we have 2 parts. One is in terms of the R&D. R&D, some of it is the papers published, and then what are the agrivoltaic in a nutshell, and then the second part is on the promotion. In terms of the showcasing part, in terms of the product development. So we are now at the second phase of the talk, which is on the promotion. So we have to chill out. I will share some of the YouTube video. Okay, we have some kita break for a while. Okay, this one is under the EduPark promo video. We have developed a hybrid agrivoltaic system showcase. HAVS short, the short is HAVS in UPM, and then this HAVS has been selected, or has been designated as one of the EduPark in UPM. Okay, so I will show the EduPark promo video first, and then I will share the HAVS launching video. Okay, we see the first video on EduPark UPM. Okay. So we will see the HAVS launching video. And also I will answer some of the questions in the live chat later on. So we see the HAVS launching video because some of the materials is also inside the HAVS launching video. Okay, all right. Okay. So this is the launching being commenced in 2019, last March, on hybrid agrivoltaic system showcase in UPM. So, oh, sorry. All right. So I will take some time to answer the question in the chat box. Hold on. It's quite a lot. Hold on. Okay, right. Okay, this one is it is before we go into the second phase on the product development. So I will take some time to answer some of the questions. All right, thank you all for attending again. Okay, hold on. From Roni Anwar, agrivoltaic technology, how much effective for Bangladesh? So I couldn't straight away answer the question, but in terms of a certain country or certain continent, we have to first check in the radiation level. So that is the normal for solar PV system. And from that, we have to find the location, the issue of the location. And from there, we can see how does the agrivoltaic can be integrated. So for your question in terms of the Bangladesh side, I think most likely it's okay because we are not solely relying on the solar project, but it is an agrivoltaic. So it can be a win-win situation. If the solar is not that high, we can opt for agriculture side. As compared to solar, if the project is more on the solar itself, only solar, so it has to really dependent on the radiation level. If the location is not that, the insolation is not that good, so the energy produced is not that strong. But for agrivoltaic, it is okay because we are not really depending on the solar insolation or the solar radiation intensity, so we can adjust accordingly. All right. Christian Philip Mendoza, I will share the copy of the slide in the WhatsApp group later on. Okay, make sure that everyone is inside the WhatsApp group for this event. From Mr. Izwan, my friend here, is it all type of land soil can be developed as the solar PV farms? Okay, this is a very good question. So particularly for my project, which is the Puchong site, so we are using polybags. So the plant is not directly planted on the soil, on the ground. So we have the black sheet, the nettings, and then we are planting the crops on using the polybags. So it is not interfering on the ground level, because for solar farm, one of the constraint is in terms of the wiring, because we clearly doesn't really know, although in the drawings it is different, but on ground it might have some wiring crossing the panelings or the area underground. We doesn't know. So for that particular aspect, most of the solar farm operators doesn't allow any intervention on the grounds, on the soil. So we cannot plant directly using the ground, but we can use polybags. Or we can say as a soilless media, but still, at my site in UPM for the 10 kilowatt, we have planted directly, and the result is mostly is okay, because plant when they is grown and directly to the ground, it grows it grows quite well as compared to a polybag, because polybag we have to do a proper nutrient and whatnot. So because for ground they have their own nutrients. Okay, but agrivoltaic, if we want to integrate agriculture in solar PV farm, we have to abide with the constraint for the solar farm operators, because we are talking about very high voltage. So it is not that easy to just plant agriculture crops and whatnot. So we have to really consider their constraint also. And then from Idris Zulkifli, how to measure the quality of misai kuching compared with agrivoltaic. So you can refer to some of the published materials. One of them is on the DSSC, and then we have also published one article on this performance on energy performance and also the MSAE Kuching growth underneath solar PV. So I think we couldn't have that time to share, but it is published in one of the article on crops performance. But it is okay in terms of MSAE Kuching. It grows 3 times larger as compared to the normal condition because of the what we call as the plant stress, the heat stress. When sometimes the plant when it is being stressed out, it sometimes die. But particularly for MSAE Kuching, luckily it sustained, and then the leaf grows 3 times larger. So the yield is much more better as compared to the normal condition. So that is one of the good things, because the heat stress is being developed by the solar PV panels. It is not done by me. I doesn't have any artificial lighting to increase the intensity, the lumens, but we are using the same panel. That panel provides additional heat dissipated underneath the PV, and that creates some heat stress to the plant. And then the result is the growth of the plant is 3 times larger. And we are referring to the leaf size. But still, a lot of study has to be done in terms of the what you call as the compounds. So that one is we are still studying on the compounds, but based on observation, it is good. All right. A piece here, for this tech to be viable, solar panels are raised higher than the normal height. There is cost involved in it. Grazing sheep or growing certain veggies, but not able to grow crops. Okay, that's why, thank you for this question. That is why we have 2 types of solar PV structures. One is the ground mounted, and one is the elevated ground mounted, if you are talking about agri-solar. So we have 2 types. For the ground mounted, which is approximately 1 meter height from the ground, so we can plant the normal veggie, the green crops, not the for example, for tomatoes, I think we cannot plant directly. So for the normal veggie, the normal green crops, we can, because it has been tested. And then we can also graze sheep underneath the PV, because it has also been proven in Australia. But for a larger tree or crops, it has to be on using the elevated structures, like in the US. So most of the solar PV farms in US, they are using this kind of technology, elevated PV structures, and underneath they are growing the high crops. Thank you. Piece here. University of Arizona. Yeah, UC Davis, they have done extensive research on it. Okay, thank you for this information. For greenhouse, yeah, thank you for this information on the solarized precision agriculture. Okay, we have done also, because we are developing our own greenhouse, the SSC roofing, and then we have some of the prototype on the greenhouse, particularly for agrivoltaic system. But this one is still under a pilot scale, not a commercial scale. Still under a pilot scale. All right, Agung Firmansyah, will the plant below PV modules affect PV bifacial module performance, as it appears the ground reflectance may be reduced? Yeah, right. That is why during my first slide in the Australian report, they have various type of roof structures, because you are referring the PV bifacial module. So some of the greenhouse structures, they are using the bifacial module, and then they have some gap to make sure that the light penetration directly underneath is secured. Not the whole area of the roof is covered by this module. So that's why these are some of the constraints. And it also affected the type of crop being planted underneath this kind of structures. So because we are actually integrating 2 parts. One is the solar technology, one is the agricultural crops. So we have to consider all elements, all constraints for solar, in terms of the material, in terms of the efficiency, in terms of the wiring and whatnot, in terms of the structures. But for agriculture, we have to take care the type of crops. How does the shade affect? How does the heat affect? How does the moisture content affect? Because for greenhouse, if we doesn't control the moisture content in this greenhouse, it will damage the plant. So various factors has to be considered, because we want to integrate both sides. Thank you, Peace. Good point. Ground, okay, from PES also, ground reflectance is, okay, thank you for this information on bifacial solar, right? China is launching 500 billion project to take agriculture indoor due to efficiency and better returns on investment. So it is also a good information because sometimes it is difficult for us to convince the solar farm operators whether they want to take up this agriculture part or they just play a normal one, just producing the electricity DC generation. But still, if we can have some real proof, it will be good for both sides, on the agriculture side and also for the solar farm operator side. Thank you for this information. And then from Hazwan, what is there negative effect to underwater ecosystem for agrivoltaic system on water? Okay, based on the recent news on Thailand, they are producing the largest aquavoltaic plants in, I think, in the northern part of Thailand. The largest, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the scale, but it is the largest one. The largest, I think, more than 50 megawatt peak system in their lakes. So I've seen the YouTube video, but I'm not sure in terms of the capacity. But I think it is more than 50 megawatt peak on the lake surface. And based on their study, I think most likely it will not affect much. There are some effect in terms of the ecosystem of the lake, but in terms of the arrangement of the solar modules, it will not cover the whole lake. It will have some of the we call as buffer zone for the ecosystem. I believe so. But in terms of the facts and figures, I couldn't share. But based on the structure being published in the YouTube, I think there are some buffer zone to secure the ecosystem. Thank you for the question. From Samuel, the phenomenon would not affect the rate of photosynthesis in plant, or is this only applied to certain plants and crops only? Okay, for this particular question, thank you, Samuel. In terms of the plant growth, because we are referring to photosynthesis effect, so we have one paper on the evapotranspiration, because evapotranspiration is related to heat stress, and heat stress is related to plant growth. So it is interrelated. So the paper just now I've shown in terms of the modeling of the stochastic heat. So that one is we have some of the information on photosynthesis and also plant effect, because the question is referring to the photosynthesis. We have some part on the photosynthesis. We explain in details in the paper how does this structure affected or affected positively in terms of plant growth with respect to misai kucing. For other plants, we have to do some other work, some of the field work. But based on our sample, we are using misai kucing, so we have published the result in the paper. What are, from Mat Rashid, what are the disadvantages of agrivoltaic specifically for fertigation activities? Okay, thank you for this question. So I believe there is no disadvantages for agrivoltaic, because it is basically supporting the photovoltaic system. Supporting means to say that it gives additional benefit to the existing system. Okay, but if we are talking about newly developed agrivoltaic, so we have to share. We have to see what are the constraints, what are the costs involved. But in terms of the large-scale solar farm, because in Malaysia, the structure is there. The structure is already operated, already commissioned. So we are using the unused space underneath the solar, existing solar, to cultivate crops or breeding the sheep or the grazing part. So basically, we are at a positive side, meaning to say that we can earn additional monetary value, additional benefit out of this. Okay. For the fertigation activities, so fertigation is basically supporting the agriculture activities for the plant growth, plant cultivation. So we can use normally for solar farm operators, they have pumped in a huge amount of money for their capex, so they would not share their electricity generated for other means. They would prefer all of the generation to be sold for the grid, to the grid. So for us, if we want to intervene agriculture to this system, we cannot touch on the electricity generated from that system. We cannot simply say, can you pump in 10% of the generated energy to our field? No, because they are losing money. What we can do is we have to pump, we have to do our own system, because for fertigation is not that high. We have done, okay, I will show some of the product development for fertigation. So coming back to the question, for the precision agriculture, when we are talking about large scale solar, so never interfere with the generation of electricity to the grid. That is their business. We cannot interfere their business. What we can do is we can create additional business, secondary business to them. From there we can talk. But if we say can you pump in 10%? No talk. No money, no talk. Okay, that's the current condition. So what we can do is there are a few numbers of project in Australia, in UK, in the US, where they lease out the land. So the solar farm operator lease out the land, the unused land, with some constraint to the farmers, and then they are paying some portion of money to the solar farm operators as their additional monetary benefits. So as of now, the agrivoltaic in large scale solar, it is not there is no such as disadvantages, because we are actually hopping on the existing system, so no need for any additional structures, just the cost to bear for the raw materials on the crops and also for the fertigation just now. Yeah, but it should be a standalone system. Don't interfere with existing solar generated for the grid connected. So we are actually a standalone system. Okay, thank you for the question on precision agriculture. From Rashid also, which authority, agency, body that will govern agrivoltaic activities in Malaysia? Okay, thank you for this question. Basically, this is a new emerging energy trend in Malaysia, because we have seen some of the R&D project, but for a large scale, we haven't seen any project in Malaysia. So I believe that this is high time for Malaysia to take up this opportunity, because we are not the only one, or we are not the first one to develop or to apply this emerging technology. We have seen reports from Australia, reports from the US. So we are actually in line with their effort in promoting agrivoltaic. So we are not doing it the first time. So we can refer to what they have been doing so far, what are the constraints, and then we improvise accordingly to our site, to our condition. So at least we have them to consider the initial risk. So that is the good part of us being in the middle. So it is high time for us to venture deeply in this agrivoltaic. So the authority, I think it is under SEDA, under the Ministry of KETA and the Ministry of KETSA now, KETSA, and also maybe from JKR. We have seen some of the talk from JKR, Dr. Muhaimin, for the SET program, solar energy purchasing, whatnot. So I think it can be embedded through this kind of project. From Mr. Izwan, any future project to integrate the agrivoltaic technology into smart farming? Yes, for sure. Because smart farming has been one of the IoT parts for agriculture, smart farming. So I think it is high time we have the ground, we have the partners, industries to take up this idea, and then we need some of the smart farming technology to assist in terms of enhancing the crops and then monitoring and whatnot. So I think it is high time to apply this smart farming technology for this agrivoltaic also. I'm also using some of the sensors, but it is for R&D purpose, a small scale. But for a larger scale, I think smart farming is a good platform to be embedded also for this technology. All right. And then Rashid also, any guidelines for crops suitable for agrivoltaic? Okay, thank you, Rashid, for the question. It is a very good question, and then it is actually my plan, my vision. My vision is to develop this kind of guidelines, because during the defense session in the ministry level, we already highlighted this kind of question in terms of the guideline, because we have seen Australia, we have seen US, they are developing this kind of technology. But to be applied in Malaysia, we have to have a proper guideline to help the farmers, to help the solar farm operators, how we want to do this. But still, it is not yet being done. I'm not sure because for the university, because for me in the university, our limitation, our linkages, our cable is not that strong to push this matter. Okay, although we have seen a good potential for Malaysia, but still we are abide with the policy, the existing policy. As of now, solar is the emerging one. Solar is the prominent one. But if you want to add up some new thing to solar, it might be taken into consideration and it might not. So I'm not sure how does the government policy can be intervened with this. But still, hopefully through this kind of session, we have also some of the representative from KETSA. I've also invited them. So hopefully they can, because they have a lot of grants available to be applied, grants to be applied, but still the takers, or in terms of the suitability of the grant proposal and whatnot, is being considered very strictly. So I believe that if the other universities has some initiative to create or to develop this kind of guideline for Malaysia, I think it is a very good approach to do so. Okay, I think that is all on the question for now. Okay, another one. The plants below the solar do not affect by block out from Hadi here. The plants below the solar do not affect by block out the sun's ray. Okay, thank you, Hadi, for the question. That's why we have to really consider the type of plant. The type of plant. Not all plants can grow underneath solar, especially on the full covered solar, the ground-mounted one. So that's why, to answer your question now, we have to select. For example, my project. Okay, we have selected the Misai Kuching autosopon plant, which is which is a shade tolerant plant. A shade tolerant plant means to say that it can survive under highly shaded condition. So that is one of the good things of Misai Kuching, because it is a herbal based plant, and then it is the mother plant, or the initial what we call as habitat of this plant is under the jungle, the thick jungle. It lives underneath the trees, so it has been shaded throughout its life. So based on this condition of the herbal plant, and then the height and some of the other consideration, we choose Misai Kuching, apart from the commercial value for Misai Kuching. It is also known as Javati in some part of the world, because Misai Kuching is not new to the world. We can see some of them in UK, in Australia, but different. They are calling it by different names. The scientific name is Autosiphon stiminus. All right. Okay. So we have already 4:35. I see, man. So R&D product innovation. Sorry, I get excited when sharing some of this one. Okay, so R&D product innovation. Okay, these are some of the product being patented. It has been filed for patent, not yet patented, but filed. We have the file name, okay, already filed, but not, because for patent product it requires some, I think, more than 5 years. So this one is already filed. Okay, already filed. This one is if you can see, I want to make it larger. Okay, this one is a dual pass. I will come back to the question later on. Okay, this one is a dual pass PV tray dryer. Okay, what is the hypothesis? What are the idea? Where does the idea comes from to develop this dual pass PV tray dryer? Because when we see that the bottom PV on the bottom side has the largest temperature value as compared to the surface, as compared to the ambient, as compared to other points which we have already tested. So we want to harvest this energy. So basically, this product is being developed due to the idea of harvesting the dissipated heat. Okay, we have the sun coming down to the solar surface, and then from the solar there is some what we call as the effect of conversion from the sun radiation to electricity generation, and from there more than 80% is being converted as heat dissipated underneath solar PV. So the idea of developing this dual pass is actually to harvest this dissipated heat, which is one of the energy, unused energy, and then making it as the drying element, drying crops. So this is some of the overview. You can see later on how does we harvest the heat from this solar PV module. This one is small scale, only one, but it can be upscale according to the size we want. And then from this particular dual pass PV tray dryer already been published in one of the article in Harakah, because our constraint is in terms of the available urban land for agriculture. So we have already commissioned some of the large scale solar in some of the good agricultural area in Malaysia. So why not we put some buffer zone? We apply this kind of technology for dryer, and then we maintain the solar PV system, and plus we have some of the available land for agriculture, meaning to say that we use some of the available land to apply this kind of solar drying, and then we can help give benefits to both sides. We maintain solar PV generation, and then we give some opportunity for the growers, for the farmers to apply this technology to dry their crops. Because in agriculture, drying is one of the main activities for crops cultivation. They have to maintain the crops in a certain nutrient. So that's why drying is very critical for crops before they want to sell their produce. So we want to help in terms of producing this buffer zone in drying technology, and then it can give mutual benefit to the agriculture and also to the solar farm operators. Okay, and okay, we have also this product has been submitted, has been presented in the IEEE 2016 in Germany, and it received gold medal. If you can see, okay, much larger. So it received a gold medal in IEEE Germany in 2016. 2016. Okay, this is some of the graph or some of the field result showing that how does the heat from the solar being absorbed as additional energy for drying. Okay, we have few papers on this one if you want to see some details on this. The second product, because we are very short of time, because I have a lot of product to show. This one is a photovoltaic water purification system, same as this one, same concept, because we want to apply the dissipated heat because it is unused heat. So how can we fabricate one product to harvest this dissipated heat? So we invented photovoltaic water purification system, whereby this system is using the solar as the energy for the pumps, and also it uses the dissipated heat energy to increase the evaporation rate. So this is the field result proven of okay, if I can read out the some of the advantages. Okay, this one is basically using the solar cell technology. Constructed such a way that additional heat energy from PV has been extracted or harvested inside the steel basin to increase internal temperature. Okay, and then this system provides condition for prolonged heat storage. So based on this technology, it can preserve the heat up to 5 hours for purification. So this is how we want to show that the dissipated heat energy is being conserved, is being harvested, and it is being preserved for additional 5 hours for this purification process. Right. This one, okay. Second one is in terms of the new harvesting machine for agrivoltaic herbal crops using the real wheel rotating mechanism by Dr. Salahuddin, one of my colleagues here. And then this invention received most MTU and TVET International Innovation Award, and some of the special award for this invention. Okay. We have some video here, but because of the time constraint, I think I will skip the video. I will share the slide later on. This one is the dynamic DSSC mini greenhouse. I think we have this prototype in the video previously, and also this one is also the prototype for the published papers. We are using this prototype to do the field work. Okay, the field work. So this one is the dynamic DSSC greenhouse, mini greenhouse, and then this prototype has been presented for the ICANN 2018 Toronto, Canada, and it achieved Best Invention of Asia Gold Medal and Special Inventors Award. This is the proof, It is not bluffing, This is the proof, and I'm also there. All right. So this is the DSSC mini greenhouse. And then this one is a photoponic veggie station. So this prototype is for the LEAF program for the, I think the slide, the previous slide. So we submitted this technology to LEAF UK, and then it approved the grant for the LEAF. We have, I think we have one. I think I will show you this video because this one is very good video. How long? How long is it? 5 minutes. Ouch. I think I will skip some of them. Okay, I think I will skip this one. Skip. Okay, this one is very important. The future planning. Okay. Okay, I will skip until to the future planning, but you can just Google YouTube for this video because we are the time is very limited for me now. So this is the future planning for floating PV. That's why I'm just now the question in terms of the ecosystem. Normally they will preserve the buffer zone. For example, for the PV here, we are only using 20% of the entire lake, only 20%. So based on some industry comments, so this kind of structure will give maybe minor effect in terms of ecosystem because we only use 20% of the entire lake. So same goes to the Thailand project and Singapore project. So they have some buffer zone to make sure that ecosystem is preserved. So this one is the Misai Kuching product. We have also our product Misai Kuching tea, and also this one is the retardable tray dryer. And then this one is the Agrivoltaic kitchen garden. Okay, this one is the small scale a kitchen garden using integrated solar PV and also standalone system for fertigation. I think this one, because some question asked about this kind of fertigation, I think we have to see some of the video. Where's the video? I think I have some video here. Okay, just a little bit on the video.
The new limited food supply supply during the COVID-19 lockdown is really devastating. This is a serious issue to be rectified. We, Team Putra, came up with an idea of Agri-voltaic kitchen garden, or also known as AVKG. AVKG is an invention that provides the means of incorporating green energy using solar photovoltaic system and crop cultivation in the concept of a kitchen garden.
It is designed with a 40 mAh battery storage, sufficient to be used for 3 autonomy days, cater for low sun and rainy days. This system can be placed and fit at our backyard with only less space consumed, and it is suitable way to perform urban farming.
AVKG is a standalone system in which the power supply comes from the PV source.
The sunlight is first absorbed by the PV cell and it will knock electrons loose. Electrons begin to flow, creating an electrical current. Metal placed on the side of the solar cell collect those electrons and transfer them to wires.
And it is converted into a DC supply, either to power up the fertigation pump or to be stored into a 40 mAh battery. The solar charge controller will manage the power going into the battery from the solar charge panel. It will ensure that the big cycle battery are not overcharged during the day and the power doesn't run back to the solar panel overnight and drain the battery.
The selection of the battery capacity depends on the loads as shown on the screen.
Upon receiving the signals from the digital timer, the tank will pump out water and fertilizer to the targeted plants.
As the plants grow taller, the height of the planting panel can be adjusted to cater to the plant's development.
As a safety mechanism, we use residual current circuit breaker that breaks the circuit from a potential ongoing electric shock.
This system could resolve a few issues such as the quantity of fertilizer used, as the dripper system contains water-based fertilizer. Therefore, it will not result in potential mosquito breeding.
Many types of plants can be planted here, such as tomatoes, spinach, lettuce, turmeric, ginger, and many other types of green. To control the water flow to each plant, we are using a dripper on each plant. The system uses only 120-watt pump to distribute water to all plants.
In conclusion, this product is viable to the consumers because it uses renewable energy that can save them from paying extra bills. And lastly, this system can address the limited food supply issue, especially during a pandemic. Remember, green nexus for us. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the last video for my slide. I believe so. So thank you for listening and giving your time, nearly 2 hours for this session. And I open for any Q&A. So I will give back to the chairperson, Zarul. Thank you.
This is really interesting and amazing technology that agrivoltaics combines the agricultural use of land with the productions of electric energy by photovoltaics. And it provides solutions for productions of food crop and at the same time electricity generations under considerations of soil protection and water saving. So now we'll look some questions in the comment box. So as the photovoltaics is a trade-off between the energy production and crop production. So here there is one question from Muhammad A. Dauli. He says, the plant you have planted, does it produce seeds? Also, how does solar PVs affect the harvesting of the plant productions?
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Doctor. Clear.
Okay, right. So the question in terms of the plant, does it produce seed? Seed means that you want do you want to buy the misalnya kucing plant produce seed? We are using the mother plant to produce seedlings. We are using the mother plants to produce seedlings. Yeah. Also, how does solar PV affect the harvesting of the plant production? So that's why we invented some of the harvesting rack to help ease the farmers' process of planting and also harvesting. So because for solar PV structures, it has some limitation in terms of the height. So it will be tedious for the farmers to plant underneath solar PV. So they need some kind of mechanism to reduce the bending, reduce the risk of touching the panels and whatnot. So we need some kind of mechanism for this. Yeah. And then okay. Kumar,
Thank you, Dr.
Kumar as about PhD, maybe you can help him for the grant. Okay. Price list. Fatiha says price list. I'm not sure the question price list of what. In Sabah. In Sabah, we have quite a number of solar PV project in Sabah, but for agrivoltaic is not that significant. Yeah, Fatiha just now. Okay, so most of the solar project in Sabah is
from Yasmin Hadi.
Okay. Yasmin Hadi, okay, right. Can we use sunlight and heat to produce electricity in the same time by PV? Can we use sunlight and heat? Okay, good question. So one of the PhD candidate, Ruzaimi, he is also here, Ruzaimi. So he is doing the PV, what they call as, Ruzaimi, can you hear me? What is the system is PVTEG, photovoltaic TEG is what I forgot, but he is using the heat, the difference of heat from the solar PV bottom to generate heat, to generate electricity. So so we have quite a number of ongoing project. One of them is for the PVTEG. So I'm one of his co-supervisor. So he is finishing his PhD on PVTEG, and he has published some of the papers on PVTEG. Okay, thank you for this question, Hadi. So we can use both electricity and also heat. Okay, this Fatiha precise. Fatiha question is what's the question just now? What is the question?
She wanted to know about the precise of the price list, maybe. So we have another question from Rizwan Abu. So he asks,
okay, Rizwan,
is there any use of nanotechnology in solar PV? I mean the nanoparticles.
Okay, for the nano technology, I've seen one of the hydroponic system using the nanoparticles technology, but that one is more on the plant nutrient, on the soil basis. For this particular agrivoltaic, I believe that we can integrate some of the nanotech in it, but in terms of the cost of production, in terms of the land scale, so we have to really consider. So normally, most of the nano project, it is in a smaller scale, because of the initial cost. But if we are talking about possibility, there is possibility of integrating nano technology in this agrivoltaic. Thank you, Rizwan. All right. So, please, Zoro, anything?
If you have any questions, please drop in the comment box so that we can answer your question. And once again, thank you for joining our webinar. And I hope that this webinar will enrich your knowledge towards the agrivoltaic, and it will improve the solar renewable energy to meet the ever-increasing demands to fight against the global warming. So please subscribe our YouTube channel so that you can get more updates.
Okay, one question from Rashid here. Is a very active participant. Any guidelines for crops suitable for agrivoltaics? So we are actually developing this. One of this from one of the outcome of this KETSA grant, AIBE, is actually to give some of the report in terms of the suitability of the plants in terms of the microclimate condition underneath solar PV. So we are actually preparing this kind of report, ongoing project. But in terms of the suitable crops, I believe that the project has to be extended in terms of different types of crops, different types of application. But still, the ongoing one is we will provide based on one type of crop first. Then it will be expanded accordingly later on, inshallah. Thank you for the question. Yasin Hadi, is the color of the panel affect the product? Yes, very much. If you are talking about DSSC panel, DSSC is basically what we call as a transparent PV panels. Okay, transparent. So the main function of DSSC is to apply the glass structures as what we call as a roof cover or a facade cover. So for example, in our project, DSSC greenhouse, mini greenhouse, so we are using a red colored DSSC, same like in US, in this what is the university, Zarul, just in the chat room, university in the US, one of the prominent university in US, they are also doing some agrivoltaic project. So we are using red DSSC because of the function of red in terms of the plant growth. So we have the blue colored, and then we also we are choosing red because that is the available panel in the market. So the thing is, we can venture into the third and the fourth generation of PV, but in terms of the scalability, in terms of the maturity of the panel has to be really considered. We can easily use the red or the blue DSSC for the roof because of the light consideration, but still when we go to the market, this kind of panel is not there, or if it is there, the price is very much high. Because I bought the Solaronics, the red DSSC, it cost me 2,000 ringgit per panel. The size is around 1.5 feet times 1.5 feet. 1.5 feet is very, very small. You see, 2,000 ringgit. So if we want to venture into the third or the fourth generation of solar, it can be applied to various applications, especially for agriculture or for structures, house structures. But when we are talking about the price or the money factor, money value. So I think most likely they will go for the normal silicon-based PV materials, the first generation and the second one. So I think we have to consider every angle, especially when we want to venture into a very large scale project. Is the color of the panel effect? Yes. Okay, thank you, Hadi. All right, so I think we can adjourn, Zarul. Thank you for the time and the participation from all. I believe that agrivoltaic is the emerging trend for energy, especially supporting the solar PV in the solar PV market. So from now onwards, we will not only talk of solar PV, we have to talk also about agriculture, because that is our rice bowl.
And share the webinar with your friends and circle so that they also can know about the agro.
Thank you. I think I think we doesn't have any question because I have to fetch my daughter and my son at the school. So I think we will adjourn the session. Thank you for your time and consideration, and also the feedback is very good. It's very informative feedback. And then I really appreciate this kind of culture being disseminated to all fellow colleagues. Thank you again. Assalamualaikum, and a very good Ramadan for all. Wishing a very best of health and prosperity to all despite the COVID-19. Hopefully the COVID the graph will decrease gradually, inshallah. Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you everyone for joining us at today's webinar. I hope we have obtained a lot of information about agrivoltaic, and please share our webinar link to your network and connection so that they also can know about this technology. And thank you once again for joining us, and see you to our next webinar. And till now, stay well. Thank you. Have a good day.